Hello, everybody. You are with Tom and Fern. I'm Tom.
I'm Fern. No guest.
No guest.
We've driven him away.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But with Keith DeBose, we have to give props to Keith DeBose, our guest last week.
Right.
Suave. He puts the suave in suave.
He was Rico Suave.
And he ran the table on the picks.
He did.
Yeah.
I think we got a couple wrong, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to post our results here.
So anyway, what do you want to talk about? Is halfway point in the NFL? Is that it?
Let's talk about the Bucs.
Okay.
Halfway point of the season, they're 3-5 extrapolated. That's 6-10. You want me to get a dictionary?
Yeah. A dictionary would be good.
Going into the season, I thought that maybe they'd win 4 games max, unless they completely go in the tank. They're going to eclipse that mark. But I think you really need to talk about the development of Jameis Winston. That was sort of the question mark going into the season. How would he adapt and how would he grow? You've seen some of the action. What do you think you've seen of Jameis so far?
Mixed.
Mixed?
Yeah, mixed. I mean, the guy's got he's rated 17th in the NFL, right above Blake Bortles, his second year, right, and who's right above Marcus Mariota. But if you were to tell me going into the season that at the halfway point, Jameis Winston would have a higher quarterback rating than Peyton Manning, Cam Newton, and Andrew Luck, I'd have said you were crazy, which you are, but I would have called you on that one. So, I mean, mixed. You're in the middle of the pack. The last 4 games have been much better, right? No interceptions.
No picks.
No picks.
No other quarterback you can say that in the NFL.
Yeah, so, I think, you have to be pretty pleased with that. I mean, the numbers, middle of the pack, that's what you expect from a rookie quarterback, at the best, I think.
And if you look at the handicaps he's had, the offensive line was bad at the beginning. They've gotten that fixed up. He lost a couple of weapons. Vincent Jackson's been hurt. Mike Evans has had a bunch of drops,
Mike
a bunch
Evans
of catches.
Does not catch the ball if anybody's within 5 yards.
Right, he makes the most difficult catches, but he drops the easy one. I looked up the stats between Winston and Mariota. Tennessee is 2-6, by the way. Winston, 1,895 yards, 10 TDs, 7 picks, 57.7 completion percentage. Mariota, 65.5%, 1,600 yards, 13 TDs, and 5 interceptions. Now, obviously, they're playing with different casts. They're playing different teams. But I'd give the edge to Winston right now if you factor in the handicaps I've just said with the offensive line, the injuries. And let's face it, last week against the Giants, they get in the red zone 4 times. They have to settle for a field goal. If you're going to be a successful team in the NFL and a successful quarterback, you have to convert at least 50 to 75% of those red zone opportunities. Sort of what you did at Stevens Point.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever get inside the 20? With you as your line,
we could score points.
Right.
Yeah. We could score points. The aerial circus.
Was that what it was called?
Actually, you know what? It's funny. Our head coach, Monty Charles was his name. True story. Coached he was an offensive coach in the Canadian Football League. Brought his thing to Stevens Point back in the 70s, and we were throwing 50 times a game back when nobody else was doing that. True story. The Dallas Cowboys actually asked for Stevens Point game tapes before they installed the shotgun.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
the guy was an offensive genius. I'm not kidding you. He could have coached anywhere if not for.
What happened? Off the field problem. I saw you go like this. I'm sure that doesn't mean he was drinking too many Coca-Colas.
Monty drank a bit, but he was a character though. He was great. But yeah, the guy was an offensive genius.
But if you look at the Bucs, really the problems they've had haven't been on the offensive side of the ball. It's been the defensive side of the ball, and that's supposed to be Lovie Smith's strong suit. They're going through cornerbacks at a rapid rate. We ran a story a couple of days ago. Gerald McCoy and Levante David, they're 2 high-priced defensive players, really haven't shown up in the last few games. You need McCoy to put that pressure, and you need Levante to make the tackles. And if those 2 guys aren't leading the defense, you see what you're seeing. They're giving up 25 to 28 points a game.
You need the real McCoy.
You need the real. He was just waiting to use that one all season. So we'll see going forward. They got a Dallas team coming into Tampa, to Raymond James Stadium on Sunday without Tony Romo. But they still have some weapons. Matt Castle will be the quarterback. Interesting to see how they bounce back from that Giants loss.
You got your steroids this week, didn't you?
No, not yet.
Oh, really?
That's after the show.
All right. Let's shift to baseball. Gold Glove Awards. Hit the local scene first.
Kevin Kiermaier won a Gold Glove, center field. Evan Longoria won a couple of Gold Gloves in the past, but sort of everybody knew that name. If you're Kevin Kiermaier and you're winning a Gold Glove when a guy named Mike Trout and your boy Adam Jones is patrolling center field.
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
You have to be doing something.
That's 3 in a row.
Did you see the catch he made? It's maybe the greatest catch I've seen, where he was completely arm over the wall and was back like this. I won't put my arm down because I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Fantastic catch. To win it in an environment of Tampa Bay where they sort of get ignored by the national media a lot of times, for the center fielder to win it, Kevin Kiermaier, fantastic award for him.
Don't forget Kevin Pillar of the Blue Jays, who was actually named Wilson Defensive Player of the Year. So, yeah, the center fielder, you could Trout, Jones, Pillar, and Kiermaier. What's interesting, I think, and I didn't realize this until my crack research staff looked this up for me before, starting in 2013, Rawlings, who does the Gold Glove, actually started using what's called the SDI, Sabermetrics Defensive Index.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Yeah, that's why.
There's penicillin for that.
Yeah, but they put at least 25% of that statistical mashup into the voting now, into the to the formula. So there was a piece in the New York Times about how since they started doing that, the actual defensive quality of the players has gone up dramatically. So it's pretty impressive, because you always wonder, the guy who does the acrobatic catches. Is he doing that because he's really good and he's getting to the ball, or is he doing that because he gets a slow jump, he gets the bad jump? Right. And so, according to these stats, he's the real deal. So and I think for the Rays, I mean, the guy's 25 years old, he's controllable. So, that's a big deal for the Rays. And in the last few years, they've used Sabermetrics, which has all these defensive metrics about how many outs he saves, how many runs he saves, how much distance he covers in the outfield. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, a center fielder is the controller out there. He's the general. He takes the balls that either go into left center or right center. He's doing a very good job of that, especially considered the other Tampa Bay outfielders. So, yeah, he's under their control. If he could just bump up his average to 280, 290, steal a few more bases, they'd have a potential all-star center fielder going forward. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and he may be the all-star center fielder. He might be. Yeah. So, yeah, 280. That's like that's about your column average, right? That's about That's about what? That's a little bit more 2 out of 10. Yeah. So, actually, a little before we quit here, a little Gold Glove trivia. You're good at this. Most Gold Gloves ever? Brooks Robinson. For an everyday player. Mrs. Robinson. I have no idea. Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux? 18 Gold Gloves. Jim Cott won quite a few, too. Jim Cott won 16 along with Brooks Robinson. The field players, Brooksy, whose heir apparent, Manny Machado, boy, he had a tough start to the season defensively, but the guy came on, and he's one of the best third basemen I've ever seen. While we're on the Orioles, they train down here, so maybe we should hit on the fact they have a lot of free agents going forward. Chris Davis, Matt Wieters, Darren O'Day, and who else do they have? Wei Chin, the Chin Chin man. Chin Chin. Now, Baltimore is known for not spending big money. Who do you see? Did they make a qualifying offer to one of these guys already? They did. Davis, Chen, and Wieters. Okay, but who's going to be coming back out of that quartet, and who do you think is leaving for another team, you believe? No idea. No idea? No idea. Do they need a guy like Davis at first base? They need And Davis, I think, if he doesn't stay in Baltimore, he dang sure better go to somewhere where the stadium or the fences are going to be favorable. Right. Because he's not going to hit for high average. He's a power hitter. He's a tremendous power hitter. So I think there's something to be said. But he's a Scott Boras client, so who knows? And I think they're going to be huge offers. Wieters might stay. Wieters might stay because. But they have Caleb Joseph, who they seemed happy with when Wieters was recovering from Tommy John surgery. They did make the offer, and Wieters, his deal, I think, if he stays there and has a good year, shows they can play a full season coming back from injuries, his value might actually go up. So I think that might be the thing for him. Darren O'Day, I tell you what, if I were a GM, I would have that guy. I'd have him on my relief staff. I think he's one of the most underrated, undervalued relievers in the game. So. And before we quit, just a couple of quick things. USF playing a very big game, at least from Temple's perspective. Temple is 7-1. They can clinch a spot in the conference title game with a victory over USF. A little known fact that I didn't know until I did my own research. Temple hasn't won a game in the state of Florida since 1938. And that happened to be Pop Warner's last game. How about that? You didn't know that, did you? All right. Ever know Pop Warner Temple? Where is Temple located? Do you know? It's in Philadelphia. Okay. I don't know what side of Philadelphia. Yeah. All right. But they're in Philadelphia, so it's a big game. Hopefully they'll get more than the traditional 20,000 up at Raymond James Stadium that USF draws. And lastly, but certainly not lastly, the Handa Cup, the legends of female golf,
We'll be in town for a couple of days. The tournament starts tomorrow. I know you're not a golf guy, but what about the Honda Cup coming to Sarasota?
It's huge.
What is that, the pregnant pause? What is that?
Yeah, no, I'm not golf. I don't play golf.
No, we got Nancy Lopez and many other ex-golfers coming here. I don't know the last time we had a professional golf event here in Sarasota. It may have been back when they were using persimmon sticks to hit balls, but that's this weekend or the next couple of days at Palm Air. So if you got a lot of time on your hands, you might want to go out there and check that out.
At Palm Air?
At Palm.
All right. And what's the name of this cup again? What's the name of this cup?
Not the Honda, the Honda Cup.
The Honda Cup.
H-A-N-D-A.
All right.
So check that out.
Okay.
And next week we'll have a guest. We'll have our picks. We'll back full speed tomorrow.
All right.
You have to go to Borneo on assignment.
I do. All right. Thanks. All right. We're out of here. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.